What's up, y'all? The US men's soccer team finally announced their World Cup roster earlier this week, and I gotta be honest, I'm pretty excited about it. We've got the youngest team in the World Cup by far, with an average age of about 23 years old, which means we really don't have anything to lose. Not only that, but we have one of the most diverse squads we've ever produced for a World Cup, with over half of the players being black. And if you don't understand the importance of that, you should probably ask the last World Cup winners to explain it to you. We also have the most players currently playing in Europe's top leagues, which means we got a lot of talent on our team. And being young and talented is a major X factor for a big tournament. So here's a preview of the team and a few players and stories that I think you should keep an eye on. First, let's talk keepers. Matt Turner is going to reprise his role probably as the starting keeper for this team. He was in great form during the US qualification period, so much so that he made a big move to Arsenal over the summer. Now, he's playing backup keeper there and has only played 4 games this season, but he's playing in a big European championship, so he's got great experience playing against big European players. But the real story is about who is not coming to the World Cup. Zach Steffen, who arguably is the best keeper that the US has at their disposal, did not get called up for this World Cup roster. Now, do I think that's a major snub? Personally, no. I mean, Zach is a great keeper, but he hasn't really been in form over the course of the last 2 years. The only reason Matt Turner really got his chance to shine in the qualification stage is because Zach got hurt, and he's been pretty much out of form ever since that injury. Zach also made a move last year to one of the biggest clubs in the world in Man City, but unlike Matt's move, I think that was the worst move Zach could have made. He was never going to play for that club. He only featured in 9 games out of a possible 58 and was out of form for that whole year. I think Zach did recognize he needed more playing time and made a good move to Middlesbrough this summer, who plays in the 2nd division of the English league. But his team's not doing that well, and he picked up an injury in August, which left him out for about a month. So he's just out of form, and unfortunately, you're just not going to make this cut, bro. Not to mention, I can't really get that image out of my head of that one time he did feature for Man City and completely lost the ball.
What an awful error by Zach Steffen!
And I don't think Coach Berhalter can forget that either. Moving on to the defense, it's pretty solid. Majority of our defenders have featured in the team since at least 2018, and they have good experience playing in leagues all around the world. We do have some notable misses though. Miles Robinson and Chris Richards have featured the most alongside our most stable center back, Walker Zimmerman. They're both out with injuries for this World Cup, so we have to find somebody to replace them. And that brings me to a player to keep an eye on. Tim Ream. He's the oldest player on the roster by far at 35 years old. He currently plays in the English Premier League with Fulham, and he's doing his thing. I believe I saw an article with Pep Guardiola saying, if this guy was 24 years old, I'd be going after him. So he definitely can play ball. He also plays alongside our X-Factor left back, Anthony Robinson, aka Jedi. Anthony is a certified starter, so I think their chemistry will help Tim become the starter for the US team. Cameron Carter-Vickers and Aaron Long are good experienced center backs, so I'm not too worried about the position, but I definitely think Tim Ream's gonna get that starting spot. One thing worth note while talking about Anthony though, he is the only true left back we have. We have about 3 or 4 true right backs who are coming with us to the World Cup, but no true left backs other than Anthony. So that'll be something to keep an eye on in case there's any injury on that side. Moving on to the midfield. This is where our best and most experienced players are in this team, and how they play will be, in my opinion, the most important determining factor for the success of the US team in the World Cup. Starting with Weston McKennie. He is the most important player on this team in my opinion. He is the heart and soul of the team. This guy plays at one of the greatest clubs in the world in Juventus, though they're not that good this year, but has featured for them consistently, even back when Cristiano Ronaldo used to be on the team. He is a box-to-box workhorse who can get forward and score really important goals, as he's done for Juventus in big competitions like the Champions League. He picked up a thigh injury not too long ago, which might hamper him at the beginning stages of this World Cup competition, but I think he's going to start the very first game, and he is going to be very important for the success of this team. I just also want to add that I need Weston McKennie to score because I cannot wait to see his Harry Potter celebration.
Weston McKennie's made a game of it!
If he cannot go for the first couple of games though, I'd replace him with Yunus Musa. Yunus is a dynamic midfielder, another box-to-box workhorse, currently playing in Spain's top division for Valencia, and the guy has flat-out skill and speed. I do question his decision making at times. Sometimes he'll be a little bit too bullish and give the ball away in key positions. And like I said, the midfield's gonna be the most important part of the pitch for this team. Otherwise, Kellen Acosta, the MLS Cup champion from LAFC, is a good safe bet as well to play in that middle of the park, right next to Tyler Adams, who will anchor our midfield. So who's the third player that will be in the midfield? It depends on how Berhalter will line up the team, but I'm assuming he's gonna start with a 4-3-3 formation, and if it were me, I would start Brenden Aaronson. Brenden Aaronson, currently playing for Leeds in the English Premier League right now, the guy never stops running. He is another workhorse, but he is an agitator as well. And the way the US likes to play, they like to get in people's faces with high press and a lot of defensive intensity. And I think Brenden Aaronson can definitely bring that to the team. Brenden also plays with Tyler in the midfield for Leeds, so they'll already have that chemistry. I think that'll be a good fit for the US team. So my midfield setup for this team would definitely be Tyler Adams holding down the center defensive midfield position with Brenden Aaronson and Weston McKennie flanking him, making those runs forward and backwards. On to the forwards. We already know some of the big names. Captain America, Christian Pulisic, currently playing for my favorite club, Chelsea. We also got Gio Reyna, who in my opinion has the ability to become the best player on the team in general. His ability and talent is undeniable. He's just 19 years old, so he's just got a lot more experience to gain. But this is going to be a big World Cup for him, I'm sure of it. We also got my guy Tim Weah, who I've been a fan of for years. He's currently playing for Lille in the top division of the French league, and he's most notable for being George Weah's son, who is the only African player to ever win the Ballon d'Or, the highest honor you can win as an individual in soccer. But I'm looking for Tim's storyline to break out of the shadow of his father so that we can really see what he has this World Cup. Now, he's been injured for about half the year this year, so I don't actually expect him to start. But when he does come on, he'll bring some speed and dynamic movement that will really add to our attack. Now, I know some Americans were disappointed that Ricardo Pepi, the young striker who scored some clutch goals in World Cup qualifying to help send us to the World Cup, did not make the US roster. But the kid is 19 years old. He has time. He's currently playing in Holland for FC Groningen. If he continues how he's been doing, he'll be a staple in the US team in no time. But on the other side of that, a surprise addition to the US team is the boy Haji Wright. I like him because he's my kind of player, a big 6'3" target man striker who's currently balling in the Super League in Turkey with 9 goals in 12 games played. When the going gets tough and we're down 1-0 in the 88th minute, and we need to start sending some balls in the air, we need a big man who gives you a different look up top to control and battle for the ball. Haji Wright can do it. Look out for my boy. He's gonna be an X factor in this World Cup. So again, we got a pretty talented young team with nothing to lose. If I had to bet, we're definitely getting out of the group stage, and we're probably going deeper than that. So my lineup would be Matt Turner in goal, with Zimmerman and Tim Ream in the center back positions, with Sergino Dest on the right and Jedi Robinson on the left. Tyler Adams will be right in the center, our anchored defensive midfielder, with Weston McKennie on one side and Brenden Aaronson on the other. Then I'd go with Gio Reyna up top on the left, Captain America Christian Pulisic playing a false 9 striker, and then our boy Timmy Weah on the right running amok. Or at least that's how I play him on FIFA. Either way, we got a lot to be excited about. I mean, honestly, the worst thing about this team are these tie-dye shirts we're going to the World Cup with. But that's a different story. The US kicks off their campaign against Wales on November 21st. Let me know if there's any other X factors you think I missed out on. Otherwise, I will see you at the World Cup.